In and Out with Professor Yalman at Radio TED University Ankara Studios. We are together with Ece Erdem, a very, very prominent student of mine who is just in the process of applying for further education. See, I never understand this. I never understand why undergrads want to study further and do a master's degree, etc., unless they're going to do a PhD at the end. But I'm sure there are certain reasons for that. I'm sure they're passionate about certain fields. But, I'm really curious about how this entire process works, how they apply, how they make a decision, how they sort of ignite and persuade their families. And is it because they heard about this school from their friends, or is it a group of friends who are going to that specific location so they want to party further? There could be many reasons. They're all okay. In life, everything is all okay. As I say, things which come to us, people who come to us, they come to us for a reason. And everybody has an expiration date, and they leave us for a reason. Things, people, etc. So we should not sort of burst our brain about things, why these happen and why people do this, etc., etc. We are here actors of a certain script. Yes, there's fate, and there's certain things we sort of we decide upon. But you know what? We decide upon our positioning in life, not the things that we're going to do in life, because they're predestined. That's what I believe. So that's why to people from here who are sad or who are living in heartache, or they're sort of disrupted or disappointed about an outcome, you know what? We say something in Turkish, hayırlısı. If it's meant to be, it will be. Don't break your head about things which actually you cannot control. We cannot control things, but we can wish for things, of course, and we can want things. We can dream about these things, but don't make them become expectations of yours, as I say always. But enough from me. Let's hear Ece. Ece, welcome to our studios. Thanks for the coffee.
Of course.
Why don't you sort of talk us through, what did you study here, and all of a sudden, what was this thing about, willing to study further, do a master's degree, and which school you're heading to, and which field you studied in, and the school that you're heading to and the field that you want to do your master's degree, is it the same? Yeah. If it's not the same, and, I will ask questions in between, but, guide me, take us to a journey.
So, first of all, I'm really grateful to be here. So, thank you for that opportunity, my dear professor. Actually, in this school, my main department is English Language and Literature. And I'm newly graduated from that department.
That's very nice. I studied American literature and philosophy in Hacettepe University many years ago. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Good base, yes.
So, if I have to start at why I choose that department in the very first step of my life, actually I really into the literature, but not only as a literature, but also the different perspective of the aesthetics. So while you are learning literature, you see a different kind of arts, and you can easily understand the aesthetics of the life as well. So
you know what? I love you for this, because the reason I studied was because when I took the exam, the only points that I had, which was eligible, those points which could I attend a department, was that. Yeah. And then later on, when people asked me, I came up with this excuse or story, but mine was not conscious.
Yeah.
But at the end, I agree with you. It is such an important foundation to build on, starting your life with actually arts and literature. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
I just intervened, but I got excited. That's why.
So I'm also working. Like 5 years long, I have a work experience while I was a student. I'm really into the work life as well.
So where were you working?
I was a teacher. I was working as a saleswoman.
Oh.
Yeah, I was working as a barista in Cappadocia in a
Oh.
hotel. Yeah, and different kind of things I like to do in the life because I see everything as an experience, and I believe that we cannot truly believe that what we want in the life, but we can assure that what we don't want to be. So my journey is starting with what I don't want to be in the future.
So, as I wrote in your reference letter, I said I referred to you as a multidisciplinary
Yeah.
person. You are a multidisciplinary person,
Yeah.
not shying away from experimenting things, right?
No.
It's important in life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fully out person, really external person, let's say. So why I choose the master degree on business administration?
Oh, okay. You chose a bachelor's degree
Yeah.
on business administration. All right.
That's it's more specific than the Turkey because
Okay.
I want to apply in Italy right now.
Okay.
So as we talk about you before that, there's two main university I want to apply and other ones as an choices for me.
Okay.
So one in
Bocconi.
Bocconi and second one is Cattolica.
Mhm.
And the other one is Padova and Bologna. These are the state universities, but the other one, the first two I mentioned, is the private universities, and Turin University and the Sapienza, at least, and the Rome, Oslo. So my in this field, my secondary field is business administration. So that's why I took classes from you and the other professors of mine. So I'm really into this, and I every time when I took these classes, I every time think that if I don't study on English language industry, I probably study on business administration.
Okay. So I'm just going to come in here and underline something very important. Now, a lot of people, when they talk about studying, for example, design and fashion, etc., they talk about three universities. They talk about St. Martin's in London. And then they talk about NABA in Milan. And they also talk about another university in New York. I forgot the name. Parsons.
Okay.
But when it comes to things like business administration, it's a huge world out there, you know. There's business administration in different countries, but there's business administration also in Ivy League in the US. And if you go to sub-departments like communication, whatever, then I could also name some specific schools. For example, Emerson College would be a very good communications school.
Yeah.
But when it comes to business, as I said, there's so many schools out there.
Yeah.
Now, I will sort of state my own peace of mind of why I applaud you going to Italy, but why not go to like a business center like London or New York or whatever and study business administration there? Why did you choose Italy?
So first of all,
Is there a clever reason behind it?
sort of, but I'm not sure that. Let's see in the future, hocam.
All right.
But first of all, my priority in the future is, of course, London Business School in London. So this is, everyone knows it, and it is the best of the best. Maybe.
Okay.
But when we think about the life standards and when we think about the incomes and the outcomes and also some financial problems, it will be a problematic situation. So choosing that kind of universities because there is the currency differences.
Okay. So one is financial.
Yeah, minus financial.
Second.
Second one is as far as into my researches. Milan, especially in Italy, France, and London, and also Berlin, they are the main faculties in their cities. They have got really good faculties about the business administration and also sub branches like business communication and corporate branding and the management, like kind of things. And I'm going to apply this kind of sub branches as well. Like one of them is communication and branding. One of them is corporate communication and branding. So I want to be in the future probably specialized in one main focus. I do. If someone go and ask me that, what do you do in the life? I want to said that I'm do this as a specialized person.
Okay, so you are heading towards from a multidisciplinary personality into a specific discipline where you want to be an expert in.
Yeah. And
I think that's a nice path after
Sorry,
a,
maybe, hocam. Not a
after a solid, actually, so to say, bigger base. But for example, coming back to choosing to study business administration in a country like Italy versus US or UK, whatever, I think business is not just numbers.
Of course.
Business is networking and culture. So for people who are into doing business in Europe, who are into doing business in actually social sciences or arts, I think places like Europe and specific schools in Europe is an applause for me. For people who want to do business in the Far East, for example, then I would say, why don't you go to schools in China? Because trying to understand China from the US or Europe is very difficult.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the business arena where you're going to be in finance, then I would say definitely be in the UK, in London specifically, or New York. See, if you want to be in architecture, for example, then I would say go to Czech or specifically Prague, or go to LA, or San Francisco, Chicago. Now, the reason I say this is studying at a school, especially at the format of graduate level, you need to be breathing that air, not just in class, but at the same time in your social environment, and understanding the environment in that culture, within that specific culture. So I think, we have a saying in Turkish, görgü, what you sort of build on in terms of taste, in terms of wisdom, etc. It's a collection of those. Görgü is a very nice word. I think that you can build on only if you're at that location with those people, with that environment where you breathe it, etc. So I think you're doing a very good thing in terms of directing your perspective and binoculars into an area where culturally you're going to be feeding yourself as well, and expanding yourself as well in terms of your network and understanding of the European culture, etc., etc. So I think it is something very nice. So I have another specific question for you. So how is this application process? Like when you are studying at an undergrad level, do you take a TOEFL, or do you take an exam? Do you have interviews with the university to be accepted? So what do you have to gather together? It's a lot of work, I understand.
There's a lot of paperwork you have to get together. So every university has different. They want to different paperworks, and they have got 4 calls. And if you get into the first call, you will be seen as more lucky, because there is a lot of place to be get in here.
Okay.
So in my department, they don't want me to get an IELTS or TOEFL and anything else, because my level is already counted as B2 or C1, because English language and literature. But rather than that, they generally wanted to 6.5 in IELTS, and which is related to also the TOEFL and the other exams as well. Some other universities want a different exam, which is their country do it, like the GMAT and the other things. They have to take it, and they have to get a score on it. And also the paperwork, like your transcript, your financial situation, your family's financial situation.
Okay.
Yeah, and your graduate certificate and your English level certificate.
So when did you start this collecting? When did you start this process collecting all these things? Like you have to start a year.
No, actually, when I decided to, I want to do my master degree in Italy, it's almost 1 month ago.
Okay, so it's
And-
faster because
yeah.
if you were to apply to a U.S. university, then
No.
you need at least 12 to 10 months, right?
Yeah, of course. And this is the why, because I'm the earlier graduate student right now. I have to. It is easier. Not that I say I want to have to, but it is the easier way to get my paperwork done, because we are not too many people in that school who is the graduate earlier. So I just try to be reach at the deadlines of this application process right now. But Italy wants you to, especially. In other country, I'm not sure about other expectation of the other countries, but Italy wants you to. Are you a positive person? Are you a social person?
Oh,
Are you really expanding your own self?
okay.
Are you have a like different perspective of life? What's your aesthetics and everything like that?
Did you go and see the school before you're
No,
applying? No.
no.
Okay.
I will.
You
But
will.
I will. Yeah,
All right.
I will.
Okay. How did you persuade your parents? Were your parents for it or were they against it? Because sometimes some parents are, it's opposite things. Sometimes the parents want it and the kid doesn't want it, and then sometimes the student wants it but the parents don't want it for many reasons. But how was that in your situation, if I may ask?
Of course. Probably I'm the lucky one in that situation, because I'm the only child in my family. We are like the small treat
The
person.
precious.
Yeah, kind of. But in my whole life, I'm really determined person what I want to be in the life. So if I gotta decide on something, they sure about what she wants to do. They don't ask me about it actually. So if when I go them and I want to do my master degree in Italy on the business administration, and before that, before I told them, I talked a lot of professors of mine, my own department and the other departments, and I decided very wisely, I think. And because of that, they didn't ask my decision why you choose that, why rather than the literature and anything.
Okay, so they were for it.
Yeah.
So it was not a brainer. It was not.
Yeah.
But what would you recommend to people whose parents don't want them to do further studies? How if that was in your case, how would you go about it? Would you do a presentation to your parents or?
No, probably. I think because it depends on the person, professor. So I think the main point is showing them, not just let them show it, but convince yourself first. Do you really want it? Do you really can handle the other hard times in your life when you go there? Because nothing is starting with your paperwork done. It is starting everything while you are going there. So do you really that kind of person? Do your parents see you as that kind of person? And because I think it's a little positive way, because maybe they can easily right now see you as a really strong person in your life,
Okay.
and they can see you as a grown up.
Do you speak Italian?
No, but I'm trying.
So you're going to learn Italian as
Yeah,
well.
Right
so
now I'm learning. It's
Oh,
a really
excellent.
beautiful language.
it is a beautiful language,
It's
you know.
really beautiful. It's like you're dancing with the
So
language.
dancing
You know?
with words, yes.
Yeah.
I get that a lot when people talk about
Really?
the Italian language,
It's
yes.
beautiful.
Okay. I have another question. Of
Yeah.
course, I have many questions, but I have another
Yeah.
question. So let's say we fast forward time, and you're there. You speak Italian. You now have certain networks. You're in circles, and you're happy with your life. And then comes graduation, and you graduate. What's going to be next for Ece? Have you planned it out, or are you going to see what's going to happen?
Hocam, let me give you some example about myself. I'm the kind of person each year I can do for myself the 5-year plan, life plan. And each year it's changing. But the rather steps is still same. I knew I was going to do it.
Okay.
So it's not a surprising situation for me. I have got multiple choices because right now I have also TESOL certificate, which is I'm a language and English language educator right now.
Okay.
So I can use different side of myself as a teacher. I can be a teacher. I can working as a business administration position in the private companies like Coca-Cola and the other kind of things. And if I can be specialized in one point, in the future, my main purpose is opening my own company on a foreign trade and giving the people not only teaching them what is the foreign trade and what is the main focus on it, but also how we use it in our lives too.
Well, Ajay, you got it all figured out. Well done. You know, I applaud that, especially the 5-year plan and how it sort of builds on it and how you change certain things and fix certain things. That's very, very good. So, what is your star sign? Horoscope?
Gemini.
Gemini. Okay. Yes, you're like the wind.
Yeah.
You're like the wind, blowing in certain directions, but being very consistent in terms of your passion, especially. That's what we look for, actually. For example, when people write a note to me asking for a reference letter, firstly, I try to remember them.
Yeah,
so I don't want to write a reference letter where, one size fits all. I don't do that. But second of all, I try to test the persistency. So I don't give the letter right away. I make the student sort of call upon that, knock my door through emails or WhatsApp, whatever. For example, you got my number and then you wrote me through WhatsApp and then etc. You waited and then you bugged me again, etc. That's
sorry for that.
No, don't be sorry. I think this is exactly actually the kind of person us professors who want to write a reference letter for, because when you go there, you're also representing us, our lectures, our way of teachings, etc. For example, I got my evaluations from students just a day ago, and I scored good.
Of course.
Out of 5, I got like 490, 495, which is a very, very peculiar, nice score. But then I don't get hung up on the score. I look at the comments, and when the comments say things like, his teaching method was intriguing certain things, or it was very different to experience in class what we experienced, or things like, having him outside the academic environment, bringing the business environment or his network into class. Those words and those sentences accumulate actually a certain level of things, which shows me that we're doing something good here.
Of course.
And when you go abroad to a new system, you're taking all that with you. And so my reference to you is not just a reference of how great you are, but how much you took in from the various experiences that you went through in my observations in that methodology. So that methodology of mine is there for a reason. So that's why writing a reference for me is something very important.
Me too.
It's an important thing for me. It's not just first come first serve, or I have this model where I sort of write it, or I don't. For example, I don't have. I do a lot of things with ChatGPT, but the reference letters I write.
Yeah, thank you so
I don't ask the ChatGPT or any version of AI to write a reference letter, so I put your name and then send it off to you. So that's great. One final question.
Yeah.
So what would you advise to people who are in their undergraduate studies upon the fact that how they should decide further after their life for graduation? Like, because not everybody wants to study further, but like, what would you advise for them to sort of come into their own and find themselves the area of expansion, what would be your advice if you were a mentor?
Can I be clear and
Yes.
open?
Yeah, be open.
So, first of all, I want to start my own experiences in life and why I want to choose something else different than that. So, in the future, we all have to working, because it's like a survival mode. And
Yeah.
if you are working, I always ask myself that you are working like almost all your life, but will you be happy what you are doing? So I think the main point is asking yourself, I will be happy if I be an engineer, if I be a teacher, if I be a blah, 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 whatever it is. It's no matter what it is. But when you have a little bit doubt on it, if you're not sure what are you going to do in the future, and let's say you haven't got any internship and you don't know anything about your own department, own field, so first thing first, let's try something else on it and decide that do you like it or not. And be mind that not every experience is good. Sometimes, and some of them will be really, really bad. But I think the bad one is really important ones. And you started to understand what you want to do in your life, either what you don't want to do in your life. So both of them is okay for me. So as I be a mentor for the kind of students, do you see in the future in that department? Do you see in the future in that field? Like truly going through only a business administration, is it a correct field? Or choosing like the corporate communication or the management or the branding, a social media marketing part will be a more great than that. So let's choose some of the kind of things. And of course, searching everything, like every university, every application system, maybe your language level, not only as an English speaker, but also are you a person that you can able to speak other language, or you can easily learn it? Because when you go abroad, if you want to work there, you have to know their language as well.
Yes.
So the kind of things when come together, you will find yourself. And I think 20s is the best times in our lives. And when you choose that something in that times, you can do either mistakes, and you can also make on it and go over it.
Yeah,
So,
but I have to disagree with you. You can have
Why?
that 20s mentality in
yeah, of course.
any time in your life. You can be a student to life when you're in 30s or
Yeah.
40s. But I'm 58 and I
You're
am
not a
still in that
58.
state of mind. But I understand. Of course, I'm joking, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
So you're saying that a student has to go through an experimentation phase and research phase
Yeah.
and a preparation phase. Experimentation, research, and preparation phase.
Yeah.
So that when the decision-making process comes, the student is ready to activate
Yeah.
himself or herself,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, excellent. Ece, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you the best. Please send me a postcard from the university.
Of course.
Last time I said this was many years ago at Koç University. It was the reverse at that time. Melike Ak Dülger, she was a dear student of mine, and she was studying business. And she came to my room one day and said, Professor, I need an upgrade on my grade. I said, all right, come to me with something so I fall off my chair. Okay?
Okay.
Surprise me.
Yeah.
And if you can surprise me in terms of your intellectualism, wisdom, etc., I will give you an upgrade. So she went off and came back a week later. She said, I brought you two things. Number one, I want to teach you and introduce you to manga.
Oh, the game.
No, the drawings, the art, the
Oh, yeah,
comics,
okay, I
the
get
Japanese
it.
way of comics. So she took me through that, and she introduced me to manga, the culture of manga. And then she put on my desk two big blocks of books. So it was like a coffee table book, and I went through them, and they were her auto self-portraits. So she was a photographer, and she had a concept of taking her own photographs and printing them, but in different situations and colors and environments. So I said to her, "What the hell are you doing studying business?" Well, she said, "My parents are from Bursa and we have a family business, whatever." I said, "You have to go and persuade them to go and study some sort of arts, especially photography." So of course she got the grade upgrade, whatever. And then I never heard from her again. But I always indicated in class that sending something with handwriting will reflect the vibrations of that moment.
Yeah.
So we lose that on WhatsApp texting, whatever. But that's why sending a postcard or a little letter is always very, very unique and nice. So after like 2 years, I received this letter in an orange envelope, written in handwriting in a see-through paper, saying, "Dear Professor, not only I have studied photography in Barcelona, but I also found my life partner here, and we're getting married, and we hope you come to our wedding in Istanbul this date." I was like, oh my God, So I went to their wedding, and then they became very dear friends, not anymore students, but dear friends. And they became so close that, I referred them to a job that was being done for the company that I was working for. So they had the chance to work with Russell James, the photographer for Victoria's Secret. And now they're living in London. We're close, so close that on my 50th birthday, we all went skydiving in Dubai. So the moral of the story is, when you are communicating and want to sort of bring through a certain vibration, come across with a certain sentimental value that you want to seed, handwriting is still the most powerful. So when you're giving a gift, or when it's Christmas or New Year's, or when you're writing something to someone important, I think handwriting will sort of reflect and underline the real wisdom and feeling of the situation.
I will.
So I am expecting from you a postcard. And from here, I want to say hi to Melike and Felipe, her husband. So they're in London. Maybe they will listen to this part, and I cherish their friendship a lot. Yes, you were going to say something.
Yeah. Before we finish, can I ask you a question?
Ask me a question.
Okay. What is the best advice you ever taken from someone that changed your life or your mindset?
There are few people, luckily, that I had in my life. First of all, I would quote my dear father. He said to me, "Hak verilmez alınır." So don't wait justice to be given. Go and seek for your own justice. So it was very important. The second one, I would quote my grandmother. She said, "Never call people names. Never call people names. Never say something bad about somebody, because you will never know whether that person did it or is associated with that situation or not." So first of all, just poke and pinch yourself whether you're in your own consciousness. So never blackmail or name, or, don't call a person a liar, for example. Don't call people things, okay? That's number 2. Number 3 advice was from my one of my first bosses at Gillette. His name is Tim Schramm. He's not with us anymore, but Tim gave me one of the best advices. He said, don't let the day run you. You run the day. So in order to do that, wake up earlier than everybody else and be at your job before everybody else. And as everybody comes in, you will be way ahead. So that was an important management advice. Another advice was from Eduardo Sobredo. He was another boss of mine. He was in charge of the international shaving departments for shaving products at Gillette. I did a presentation to him, and he looked at the presentation. He said, "This is not school. Every company has their own culture of presenting things. Go and learn how we do it, and then come and present to me." And then he got up. He made that statement within 1.5 minutes, and then he left. I was like, I said, shit, wow. So that was the blunt side of business life for me. Another one was Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was our board member, and once I took some papers to him, and as I was waiting for him, I saw the boardroom door was open, so I sat at the Gillette company headquarters boardroom, and I was like, looking at myself, how it would be as a board member or chairman of the board, whatever. So Warren Buffett comes in and says, "Do you envision yourself sitting at a seat like that one day?" I looked at him. I said, "Sure, why not?" He said, "Don't change." And then I did become a board member later on, not at Gillette, but other companies. So if you see yourself at a level, don't shy away of imagining that or putting yourself at that seat. That was thing. So these would be like some important advices. But I would also want to quote an advice from my teacher or instructor, where as I was horseback riding, he always used to say to me, whatever you do in life, make sure you have someone watching you from a distance. Because when you're on the horse or in the plane, whatever, you need a tower to sort of see how you are positioning yourself, directing yourself, etc. So we should never be in a position where we say to ourselves, "Oh, I know everything, I look good, I look this." Have someone criticize you, have someone have a certain input in you, negative, positive, take it as it is. Don't try to defend yourself. Just take it and analyze it. So adding to all this, I would want to sort of leave you with one advice. Life is like, at the minimal stage of it, being on a yoga mat, okay, without anything. On the yoga mat, you can either be with yourself or be against yourself. So it's your choice. How you're going to position it. You either in life is going to be with yourself, be together, hand in hand, in peace with yourself, or you're going to be against yourself. So, having said that, I want to close it up. I spoke too much.
Thank you.
But it was great. It was a great session. We are at Radio TEDU, Ankara studios at TED University. Professor Yalman, in and out. This program has been a delight for me because I'm meeting so many sides of so many different beautiful people. Eja, thank you very much for coming here. And I wish you all the best. I'm expecting that postcard.
Of course.
And thank you for the very mentoring words and bringing also some certain good delights from my experiences into this program. And I, Professor Yalom, will be together with you in new episodes, meeting wonderful people as we always do. Dream, wish, objectivize things, but never make them become your expectations.